Hey guys, how's it going? SgtGnome here, and you can't believe how pumped I am for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It is coming out in just mere hours where I'm at, and with this excitement, I've kind of really wanted to talk about my predictions for the 5 DLC characters that they're going to be releasing for the game. We already know Piranha Plant is coming in February, and there's been a lot of speculation going on who these 5 fighters are going to be. I know Sakurai had tweeted that Nintendo has made the list, and then from that list, he decides whether or not he can make that character work or work. I mean, I'm sure literally any character they give him, he could make work. If he made Piranha Plant work, and if he made, certain other characters work, he can make anybody work. But that's just, besides the point. So I wanted to give you, not necessarily, it's not my top 5, the 5 characters I want. These are just more like 5 characters that I predict that are more than likely probably going to be the 5 that they choose. So with that, let's get right into it. These aren't in any particular order of, being the first one released and the last one, or kind of. Well, anyways. Okay, so firstly, I think they're going to do a Gen 8 Pokemon, and that will probably be maybe the 4th or 5th DLC character they release. I think it'll be on the tail end, because we all know already that the Gen 8 Pokemon game for Switch is coming out next year, and they've said the DLC will take, a little over a year to do, so you have, all the way through next year and through 2020 as well, so they'd easily be able to add a Gen 8 Pokemon. 1, it gives them hype. 2, Pokemon's huge. 3, Greninja was added in Smash 4 before they even really knew about him. They just saw the design, and they're like, let's pick that one. But for me, I think obviously they'll pick a starter. I think they'll pick the final form starter like they have, with Charizard and with Greninja and with Incineroar. But I'm actually really hoping that they pick the grass type this time around, just because you have 2 fire starters. You have Charizard and Incineroar, like I mentioned, and then you already have a water one like Greninja. And then, the others are kind of on the wayside. Like you have Squirtle and you have Ivysaur. Ivysaur is like really the only grass type you can play as, because then you have, Mewtwo, Pikachu, Pichu, and all that. So I really think having the grass starter would be kind of cool, just as sort of having, more variety. But, obviously I think whatever design they look at and whatever Game Freak tries to push as the more popular one, they're going to go with. I think the second pick, even though I really don't want the character, I don't see why so many people like him. I mean, he's fine. I think Bandana D will get in, honestly. And my only reasoning is because the fan hype for him is so high and so many people want him. He's in so many videos. I think Nintendo obviously knows, and that I think he has a shot of getting in. I don't think he's 100% locked, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't shock me if he was in, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like, I don't want him personally. If he doesn't get in, I wouldn't be surprised. But if he did get in, I wouldn't be surprised as well. I know that kind of sounds like a cop-out, but in all honesty, that's just my opinion. Third, I think they're probably going to do another Fire Emblem rep from Fire Emblem Three Houses. I think Nintendo, they like pushing the new games coming out. They want to advertise them. It's kind of like, we had 2 Fire Emblem DLC characters for Wii U. We had Roy, which was a returning veteran, and then we also had Corrin. So it's not out of their scope of vision to add another Fire Emblem character. I hope it is someone unique like Corrin and like how Robin was, because you already have, Marth and Lucina that are, like the same, and then you have Chrom, which is like a mix of Marth and Roy, and just like there's too many similar type Fire Emblem characters. And I've never played a Fire Emblem game, to be honest. I don't care. I know everyone says, oh, there's too many Fire Emblem characters, and I agree to a point, but also if you have to look at it, if you count Pokemon Trainer as Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard as separate characters, there's 10 Pokemon fighters, and nobody's complaining that there's too many Pokemon. But Fire Emblem, I think there's 9? Marth, Lucina, Roy, Ike, Chrom, Robin, Corrin. I don't know, that's 7. There might be 8. I probably missed one, but there's 10 Pokemon. I'm fine. I'm sure there's a lot of Fire Emblem, but again, there's a lot of Pokemon. I personally don't want it, but I honestly think it's another one of those situations where I honestly see a high probability of that being the case. 4, I think the Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is going to make it in. Even Sakurai himself in the last Direct said that, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was kind of shown later than when they started development on the game in 2015, so they didn't have an opportunity to include him, which to me sounds like after the fact that they found out that Xenoblade Chronicles 2, was a thing. It sold as well as it did. I think Sakurai has been reported as saying he really enjoyed the game. I think they probably really wanted him in, but just didn't have the development time to be able to release it, December 7th of 2018, and that's why they kind of copped out and gave us a Mii costume. But as everyone's pointed out and speculated, just because there's a Mii fighter costume doesn't mean the fighter is null and void. So I think, honestly, they'll take this time and make Rex fully fleshed out. And I think how Rex will work is kind of like Pokemon trainer in the sense to where, like, I think... Or like Shulk, how Shulk can switch between his different Monados, like speed, armor, attack, jump and all that. I think with him, he just might be able to switch between Pyra and Mythra and change his attacks to be either like fire or lightning based. So it kind of gives him like elemental differences based on like, a button switch. He can change between the two. That's a thing. And I know in Xenoblade 2, which I've played the game, I've beaten the game, the closer you are to the person, I forget. I beat the game. I didn't really care for it a whole lot, so I don't even remember what it's called. But you had that little tether, right, in between the two people. And the closer you were to your partner, the more damage you did. And the farther away you got from your tether, from what I remember, the weaker it was. So if they can somehow incorporate that unique mechanic, and maybe you'd always have Mythra or Pyra kind of in the background, how Pokemon Trainer is, kind of in the center of the stage. So Rex almost gets like a buff when he's more centered in the middle of the stage, but the farther he gets off, the further knocked back he goes. He's weaker. I don't know if that can be a kind of interesting mechanic. I don't know if they'd be able to implement that well or fairly, but I think, just to make him unique and different from Shulk, that'd be really cool, as well as like the switching elements. And then his final smash, obviously, I don't think you would just probably do some mega ability where he gets into his white suit, spoiler alert, and Mythra and Pyra form together into that one ultimate blue being with the cyan hair or whatever, and she does some ultimate attack with him. I think that would be a cool final smash, and that would just work. And anyways, I think for the 5th pick, I think they'll want to go with somebody that's super hype. And I honestly think, even though Nintendo is making the list, so I'm thinking people probably assume that all 5 characters are just only going to be Nintendo, and that's it, just first party. I honestly think Banjo-Kazooie has a pretty high shot, just because with my reasoning with Bandana D that he is so highly requested. He was born and raised on the Nintendo 64 and has such a following, so beloved. Really wants him. Phil Spencer's fine with it. He said that on multiple occasions. You have the partnership with Play Anywhere and Minecraft on the Switch and the Xbox and all this other stuff. So I think Banjo, like as the final reveal for the 5th fighter, would be super hype. And anybody who's been holding off on DLC, if they only bought one character and didn't care about the other 4, it would be Banjo. So, I mean, since it is third party, I could understand it not happening. But I honestly think that Banjo would work really well, would make people extremely hype, and I think that possibility and that partnership is possible. So those are the 5. I'll just go over them again. A Gen 8 Pokemon, I think, is highly likely. Bandana D, even though I don't personally want him, I think he's probable. Some Fire Emblem 3 Houses rep, don't know who, but hopefully it's somebody that's unique and not just kind of pseudo slightly different from all the other ones. Rex with the whole Mythra Pyra ability swapping concept that I thought of. And Banjo, I think, to roll out to finally send it home. I think you get Gen 8 Pokemon as 4 and Banjo as 5, or Banjo as 4 and the Gen 8 as 5. I think those 2 would be the final 2 releases, with Fire Emblem being the 3rd. And then maybe Rex as the 1st, because if you just start off with Bandana D, that might rub people the wrong way. Even though he's really wanted, I think for a lot of people as being the first one, it'd be kind of underwhelming. So anyways, those were my predictions. I hope you liked them. Also, just for another a want character that I kind of want, what I actually think would be kind of cool, is King Boo, or just a Boo in general. I know they have Piranha Plant, so a Boo, there's tons of different varieties of Boos throughout Mario history. I know it's another Mario character, but that's kind of what I just thought of off the top of my head. I've been trying to think of some other ones, but all my dream characters are in the game already with K. Rool and Ridley, and Yoshi's my main, and we got Bowser Jr. and Pac-Man's in there. You know, like all the characters I could ever really want are already there. So anybody else extra is just, you know, icing on the cake. I mean, Crash would be cool, but I don't see that happening, to be honest. But anyways, yeah. So King Boo, or just Boo, I think another cool mechanic with him is he would do more damage if your opponent is facing away from him. So kind of like, you know, in the games where he starts chasing you when you're turned your back. So that'd be kind of be a cool mechanic, I think, to where you moves do slightly more damage if you hit him from behind. That'd be kind of cool. And then, you know, you'd have like a lick attack and maybe a move that stuns, kind of like the Fatal Frame Assist trophy. I don't know, they can make it work. But anyways, guys, that was just my rambling at the end. Thank you so much for watching. I am so hyped for Smash. Look for more videos coming out from Smash Ultimate because Nintendo was super awesome and dropped their stupid creator program that you had to be with. So now I'm going to be pumping out videos as much as I possibly can. Thank you so much. So if you're looking forward to that, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one and happy smashing. Wink, wink.